After working hard for 2 weeks, or however long your pay period is, you finally receive your paycheck. Excitedly, you rip off the tabs to see how much you've earned. With a look of disappointment for some, and excitement for very few at the amount of money you have earned, you proceed to look at how much money was deducted in taxes. Frustrating, right? Welfare programs began after the Revolutionary War in America with the intention of providing pension for war veterans, not for those who are unable or unwilling to get a job. A solution to large deductions of tax money from your paycheck would be the government putting more regulations on program beneficiaries so benefits do not increase idleness. Throughout the next few minutes, I hope to give you all a new view on government programs, program beneficiaries, idleness increased due to these programs, abuse to the system, and benefits of government programs. Government programs are meant to be a short period of help to get one financially stable. Giving funds to non-working beneficiaries who feel they don't need to get a job furthers poverty. If you have a job, unless you are under 18, a certain amount is deducted from your paycheck due to taxes. A book titled Welfare's Fatal Attraction, written by James L. Payne, states, mandatory taxes will force needy people who are taxpayers to give funds to less needy people. An example of this would be a working single mother who pays taxes has to give money through taxes to a non-working single mother living off of food stamps. This takes away money from people who've earned it by working for themselves, rather than living off the government because they feel like they do not need to get a job. An article titled The Effortful Citizen, Discursive Social Psychology and Welfare Reform, written by Stephen Gibson, displays an idea that whether one should be entitled to benefits should be determined by effort, and judgment should be made on whether one displays a trait such as idleness. If the individual wants to receive benefits, it is of their own responsibility to find work and prove that they have put in effort towards working. If given an inch, people will always try to take a mile. When the government creates beneficial programs, people will always find a way to abuse them. Stated in an interview by Sherry DePlazis, the Ransom County Social Services Co-Coordinator, people go out and spend their money on alcohol, tobacco, cigarettes, and sometimes even drugs, quite often, as a way to cope with the stress of everyday life, in addition to not having good financial standing. People who are eligible for benefits will often take advantage of the program instead of finding another job to earn the money, so they do not have to be on the welfare program. When the food stamp program was introduced in 1963, it was intended for 4 million beneficiaries. In 1995, the number of beneficiaries had climbed to 27 million. Payne describes in the previously stated article the substantial growth in beneficiaries from 1963 to 1995, which was 23 million, shows that the more benefits available requires more money from people who are hardworking and have a will to work for what they want. Government programs do have a purpose, however. Although government programs have downsides, they also have benefits for some. Various supports for low-income families reduce poverty and have long-term effects on families and children, an article written and compiled by Arlock Sherman, Daniel Tristy, and Sherilyn Parrott tells us that according to the U.S. Census Bureau, public programs lifted 40 million people out of poverty in 2011, including almost 9 million children. Bringing others out of poverty with the money some have earned allows those who pay taxes to be furthered into poverty. Giving material aid to compensate for dysfunctional behavior will encourage more of that behavior. Between 1984 and 2004, even as the overall poverty rate declined, the average percent of Americans living in deep poverty increased markedly. A study published in 2012, Oxford Handbook of the Economics of Poverty, tells us that the money taxpayers are paying is going to those who do not or will not work for themselves, furthering some into poverty. Today, I have given a different viewpoint of government programs, program beneficiaries, idleness increased due to these programs, abuse to the system, and benefits of government programs. With the government giving financial aid to the non-working, beneficiaries take money from those who really need it and have earned it, which creates a problem. If the government provides funds, people will always find a way to abuse them, promoting idleness and creating a bigger problem. Our government should put more regulations on beneficiaries so idleness does not increase. A suggestion could be, unless disabled or diagnosed with some disorder making work difficult, requiring those receiving aid to track hours of work, proving that they have taken initiative. Those who do not turn in hours will have some sort of penalization, thus motivating beneficiaries to find jobs. Making those who receive benefits prove they are working and try to provide for themselves in an effort to not receive government aid will benefit our country, creating less problems in the end.